How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. We're reacting to Daredevil Season 1, Episode 10, Nelson versus Murdock, or Murdock versus Nelson. I don't remember what the order is. But either way, that is extremely exciting for a title. It's going to be, I assume, a philosophical debate, it is like a criminal case or whatever, like a law thing. I don't know why I can't think of the word. But either way, let's get into this episode. How's it going, everybody? I am Donut, and this is the discussion for episode 10, Nelson v. Murdock. And since that's the kind of episode it is, I figured I would bring in my fiance here who's also watching Daredevil with me. Around the same pace as me, I should say. And yeah, we're gonna just discuss the episode together, sort of. First off, you are going to be taking Murdock's side because you know that I'm taking Foggy's side. But what side did you agree with more in the episode, actually?
In the episode, honestly, I did agree more with Murdock's side.
Okay. Okay, I think that will make this better then.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is basically just that, at least with Fisk, he has a goal.
Okay.
He has something that all the unnecessary evils that he is doing is trying to accomplish. It is he will get rid of poverty, he will get rid of crime. That is what he seems to truly believe he can do.
Right.
Whereas Murdock just taking out Fisk doesn't really help anybody. He says it'll help the city, but how will it help the city? What does taking out Fisk do?
Right.
It is inconsequential, really. It's just that he's mad at things that Fisk has done.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the things Fisk has done has made him a horrible person, but not a thing that needs to be removed to the city, because the bad things we've seen that he's done has been because the Man in Black is running around doing stuff.
Okay.
And I would say the vast majority of stuff done is his employees doing something, or his employees being too incompetent and him having to make up for that.
Okay.
But yeah, that is my stance. That the city does not need Murdock because he's not helping the city in any way.
Okay.
That is my stance on it.
I'd say my stance is that Fisk is actively hurting the city. And he's doing it through, the general illegal, the criminal underground that he's, creating a structure for. All that stuff might still be around if he wasn't there, but he's clearly making it more efficient. He's helping things, go through where otherwise they would run into roadblocks.
Sure.
Where, an individual could make a difference. If it was just gouged working on her own, she wouldn't have the network needed to spread her heroin as far as it actually does spread. She wouldn't have protection. She wouldn't have the roots.
Right. I guess a big part of it does come from the problem that I don't think the heroin is much of a problem. I don't think it's Fisk's problem. I think people are going to sell heroin no matter what, and I think it makes him a horrible person, but I guess, I was thinking of it more from a violent standpoint than anything. But, yeah, sure, the heroin is a big problem in the city.
Yeah.
But, meh.
I do see it as more of a total good versus total evil. That and also, I don't fully understand Fisk's end goal. He says he wants to get rid of poverty. But getting rid of poor people is not getting rid of poverty. That's getting rid of poor people.
Yeah. It is, I'm very interested, it's not like he's getting rid of poverty across the world. He means just Hell's Kitchen.
Even then, getting rid of the poor people is not getting rid of poverty.
It's definitely a lot more, it's definitely a lot more possible, to just turn Hell's Kitchen into another, there's plenty of places in the world that just the entire place is super rich people.
True.
But, that's not really fixing a problem very much, because you're just making that one place better. But it is still, it is more achievable. I was just thinking that, that is a lofty goal to set, but it is more achievable than it sounds right off the bat.
I can understand.
But also, ending crime, I think, in Hell's Kitchen is his bigger thing. We don't know his full thing there, but he does consider the Yakuza to be a necessary evil right now, which means that he doesn't seem to want organized crime. Also, the Russians he didn't want to really have any part of, even though they did contribute, and the Japanese didn't.
Yeah.
He wanted them gone first. I mean, also just because of the circumstances around it, but also just because he didn't like them as people because of the organized crime aspect of it.
Right.
So yeah, I we don't know how he's going to do it, but I do think he can do it if he was able to.
Okay. I guess I just don't have the inherent trust in Fisk being able to do what he wants to do. So, like, the fact that he has a lofty end goal makes me distrust him more. Because I just, like, if he's aiming for something that I don't think he can do, and I don't think his current, operation allows for, then, like, the entire thing feels fundamentally flawed. Whereas with Daredevil, with Murdock, I get, the general gist of, if I punch a guy who is a bad guy, he stops doing evil things. Like, I don't think that's sustainable, sure. But I do think, like, on a case-by-case basis, which is what he's doing, he is just punching people on a case-by-case basis, working his way up to the Kingpin. Like, I have more faith in that.
I wouldn't say he's been working his way up. He's been trying to.
Yeah.
But it hasn't really worked he hasn't got anything. He's known who he is since the beginning. He hasn't gotten any new information.
Right.
All the information he's gotten has become moot through him just becoming public.
Yeah.
Because that was their big thing of just, he doesn't want to be public, we'll make him public. And then the public can figure it out, but he'll just, we now see that he's a very good person at being in the public too. He just keeps spinning everything.
True.
But yeah.
Like, I would then say that Fisk has likewise accomplished very little in terms of his end goal of cleaning up Hell's Kitchen. He's taken over what the Russians were doing, so no positive good there. The Yakuza, we don't know what the Yakuza were doing, so their elimination doesn't mean anything at the moment.
It's not like he's eliminated. He's just, like, Nobu has been taken out, but the Japanese are still knocking at his door.
Right.
But I would consider the Russians taken out to be a benefit for the city.
I mean, like, sure, they were rough, but they also were rough as, because Fisk was like, yeah, sure, do it the rough way.
Yeah, they were rough because they were rough because they were incompetent, because they couldn't handle on their own.
Sure. Like,
they're rough because, like, they got worse because the Man in Black, necessitated them to get worse.
Right.
He escalated the situation. Which is not his fault in itself, but it's, not just, that is what I mean when I say, he is causing more pain and suffering on the city too. Like, he is escalating the situation with no real, anything to show for it.
Right.
So, but whereas Fisk, I think, is step by step getting closer to his end goal. Like, it is interesting that you think the opposite, because I think that he has been very clearly from the beginning, step by step, getting closer towards his goal. And he's already, everything has been working out in his favor since the beginning of the series. Nothing has not gone his way. Like, I can't think of anything that has not gone his way at this point.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I do think things are going his way, but if his end goal is, a better Hell's Kitchen, I don't see how the steps he's taken have led to that.
Yes. I don't think anything he's doing is currently making Hell's Kitchen better, but that's the thing. Like, I don't know how he's doing it, but we don't know what his goal is yet. His main goal is just working with these people temporarily until he doesn't have to anymore.
Right.
That seems to be the thing right now. So, I guess there's not much I can say about that.
Yeah.
Whereas with Murdock, it's not like he's hiding anything. It's not like we don't know his whole shtick.
Yeah,
we know everything that he's trying to do. But, you say you punch a bad guy and they stop doing bad things, but it's like, if they take out Fisk, that's not going to matter anything. Gal's just going to go to another person, and the method's going to get distributed the exact same, just by a different person that she trusts less. Nothing's going to happen.
I guess the thing there is just, like, if Kingpin is doing nothing then, like, if his elimination means nothing, then I wouldn't think he's doing a very good job. Like, clearly, he is building power, he's building an empire, and if you get rid of Fisk, you are at the very least temporarily erasing that thing that's been built up.
Yeah, I think that was the whole talk we had this episode of Gal saying, like, you need to decide right now, like, are you going for this lofty big goal thing, or are you going to be the realistic, businessman that he is right now, technically, everything's going his way, but if he got killed right now, so what?
Right.
But, he has the potential to be someone much higher than that, but that also comes at the risk of losing everybody beneath him, like Cal said.
Right.
And them all turning on him. Like, you know, how long until that ambition turns on them?
Yeah.
Which is what has been happening. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but I think that is the question. Is like, you know, right now, yes, if he was killed right now, nothing would change. Later, I think if he was killed, it would be definitely way worse for the city. I don't think it's a sense of like if he was killed later, then it would be better for the city. I think at any point, if he's killed, it's you're either zero net gain or a negative for the city.
Right.
Right now. Whereas like taking out like individual bad people, it like the first story that he had of like the, you know, when he first like dressed up and went out and beat somebody's ass, and it was the like a father who was abusing his daughter and that.
Yeah.
Like the individual things like that, I find nothing wrong with. It's hard to find anything wrong with that because there is a goal there. He is stopping something clearly.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, going after Fisk really just makes matters worse. It's gonna cause all of the crime in the area to get worse and everything that. Going for the big ones is honestly the worst thing you can do. Like, well, someone big like Fisk. Honestly, going for someone like Gao makes sense. If this whole thing was taking out Gao, it would make a lot more sense.
Right.
Because if the big thing is the drugs, then that is the main thing, and taking her out would be a big hit to the thing.
Yeah.
Whereas taking out Fisk would not really be a big hit to the thing.
Right.
Leland would still just work with Gao. Like Gal's already said she'll be fine just taking Leland and working. Leland's already said like I'll be fine fucking leaving and working for somebody else. Like nobody is loyal to Fisk at all. But yeah, so I don't think Fisk as the one to be taken out as the big bad devil man. Is that bad?
Yeah, but I mean, like, in terms of overall, like, what he has done, like, yeah, he hasn't taken out Fisk, but that's, like, not what I'm arguing. What I'm arguing is that what he has done up to this point, to me, feels more, like, it feels like he's created more net good within the city than Fisk has done. And I get your point of, like, Fisk is going for the, like, 1%, 1%, 1%, and then 99% when he has, you know, enough power and sway, when he can make the big move.
I would say, yes, he has done more net good for the city than Fisk has. But I think the question of does the city need him in the mask, I think the answer is no. I absolutely think the answer is no. I think there's nothing he can do in the mask that is the way he is right now.
Okay.
Like if he was doing what he was doing before, if it was individual case by case basis of him helping out people and stuff like that, then it's more understandable.
Okay.
But or going after people in a more legal way, where it's out in the open in the public and stuff.
Okay.
But like killing Fisk doesn't do anything because it doesn't put it in the public spotlight at all either.
Right.
And it doesn't help anything. So it's not really helping anything because it's not putting the crime. It's not making it harder for them to do their crime or anything.
Sure.
Which is the whole. If you did it legally, that would be a big. I mean, I don't think it's possible to legally, but if you did, that would be the. You know, that's one of the big benefits of it. It makes it a lot harder for everyone else in general that didn't get caught.
Right.
But yeah. That is my argument. Not that Fisk is better than Murdock, because this is supposed to be Nelson versus Murdock in general. I'm arguing for Foggy, saying that the city doesn't need him in this mask.
Okay.
Like, that he shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
And that killing Fisk is not the option, because it's just... It's no different from what... A lot of times, like, oh, it's no different, like, you know, oh, I've killed thousands of people, you're going to kill me, and you're the same. It is kind of the same, because as far as we know as an audience, Fisk has killed 2 people so far. Wait, am I his dad and
Yeah.
I just had it in my head. Not Vladimir, Anatoly.
Yeah.
Just those 2. He has indirectly killed Nobu and Miss Cardenas, but I'll count Miss Cardenas, but I'm not going to count Nobu, because he knew Nobu was going to do it, but he did say, just hire somebody, even though he knew that Nobu was going to take it upon his pride and do it himself. He did technically just say, just hire somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a big difference between him, leading, between, with 1 degree of separation from him killing Nobu. I don't see a difference between that and him with 1 degree of separation killing all the Russians.
Sure, I
Like
guess
the
no,
like the
you're right.
whole
Yeah, I guess I'll say that he killed all the Russians. Yeah, I guess that's true. I kind of forgot about that. He did blow up all the other Russians too. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I guess I can't argue it.
Got a big kill count.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think Murdock. I don't think him killing is just a good idea in general. I don't think him putting people in comas is a good idea in general. He's laughed about that like that was a ha-ha moment, but
I would say that I do think he is doing more good than bad, which is really like when we say like, does the city need him? What I think is more just like, does the city need him to be like it's separate from his lawyering. It's just, should he be going out and punching bad guys? Which I think is separate from the Fisk thing, because he's made no progress on that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think him going out and punching bad guys is doing anything. Because, again, if it was a case-by-case basis, but him just punching people who are working for Union Allied, they're just immediately getting replaced by someone, like, every time he does it, he causes something way worse to happen. Mm-hmm. He causes the cops to get killed, or he causes, what was her name? Claire and the kid to get, interrogated by them, or the kid to get taken by the Russians, the smaller kid. Mm-hmm. He caused basically Vladimir almost got away, but then he got Vladimir killed.
Right.
Lots of things that he'll do something where he's beating up on somebody that deserves it, but then that causes innocent people to get involved and get hurt or killed or injured. Like, the cops thing was a big example of that.
Right.
Yeah. But so I would not say that he has done more good for the city than he has done bad. I mean, as far as we have seen as an audience,
right?
Because we don't know how much of a gap was between that first thing we've seen him done and when we first saw him going after the Union Allied guys.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, I would not say that he's done more good for the city than,
Sure.
Is there anything else you want to bring up about the whole Nelson versus Murdock argument? Oh, actually,
no.
One thing I did want to bring up is, like, this episode really, I felt like Foggy was always the one who was way more about doing the just thing and the morally right thing. Like, every time they've had a client before, and he sort of, like, judges them and says, like, oh yeah, we shouldn't be taking this, or we should be taking this. And Matt is the one who eggs them on to take it or not take it, whether it's a good case or bad case. Like,
right.
Because he usually has his own goals in it. But I don't know, this episode really made it seem like Foggy didn't give a shit and just wants money. Like, I felt like it was like that the Office scene after the old guy and everything. It really made Foggy seem like he was like, all right, yeah, I guess we'll do good because you want to do good, Matt.
See, I did not take it that way.
Really?
I took it as, like, Foggy is the kind of guy who won't make the big move. Like, he's the kind of guy who will, like, joke about doing immoral stuff, and if he said, like, maybe we should do this immoral thing, like, this is just a good career path, I think he would just kind of go with the flow there. I think the reason why, like, I do think he was excited about branching off with Murdock, but he was never going to be the one who would say, let's branch off.
Okay.
Like, he likes to be in that role of the sarcastic guy who complains about it, but who ends up, going along with your lead.
Sure. I would actually say that's more Murdock's thing. Like, I think there was a very telling line when he was like, what are you looking for in a girl? And he said, like, someone I can listen to. And that really, like, made me realize, like, is that why he's friends with Foggy? He doesn't, like, talk to him like he's a friend very often. He just kind of listens to him. He just kind of, like, lets him just be the comic relief and just, like, tunes in from time to time to be the straight man. But, like, I always thought that was just their dynamic, but then this episode really made it feel yeah, he's just been purposefully doing that. Because maybe he's afraid he's going to slip if he, tries to be too human.
Right. I mean, I do think that Foggy's been the, like, Foggy is sort of the energy of the group, whereas Murdock is the, like, the bursts of energy, or, like, the bursts of direction and focus. Like, it's usually been Foggy, like, spinning his wheels and just talking about stuff, and, like, just saying like, maybe we should do this, and then Murdock, for whatever reason, comes in and says, all right, we're taking the case, or no, we shouldn't take the case.
Right, he does take charge quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's what I thought of more so than anything else.
Okay.
So, like,
I could definitely see that, yeah.
Yeah, and especially because, I do think that Murdock's introverts. He seems like the kind of guy who would like to have someone who's just, a barrel of laughs in the corner, who is just constantly doing his own thing, so he doesn't have to do anything until he wants to, pitch in.
I can definitely see that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to mention? There's nothing really I have to say about just the whole other Wilson side of this episode. I'm not really sure there's anything else I have to say about it. We talked about the fact that, with the whole fight with Nobu, that Murdock's probably going to have to get his upgraded costume now. They talked about having to buy it on the internet, so now he might have to actually make this one himself.
Right.
And, Wilson got cut, as well as Murdock getting all cut up, so it seems like they're trying to thematically really make it obvious that he needs a new outfit, new costume.
Actually, I did want to mention, like, with the whole Nelson v. Murdock thing.
Yes.
Do you think that Murdock should have, at some point during their friendship, just told, Foggy that, hey, I've, not even I can see, but, I can sense more than you can. Like, not even to the sense of
I think,
superpowers, but, I know there's a wall there.
I think it's insane that he didn't tell his dad. I think that's fucking crazy, because he's so young of a kid, and there's no reason why he shouldn't have. That should have been the thing of, it could have been a thing I tried to tell my dad and he thought I was crazy. But it seems like he's told no one ever.
Right.
But, why? It's not the classic thing of, I don't want my secret identity to be known. He was just a kid who had no idea what was happening to him, and then he just didn't tell his dad?
I mean, it is a pretty wild thing.
It'd be pretty fucking crazy if you someone I would want to say, hey, Dad, what the fuck is wrong with me?
I do agree. If I were in that situation, I probably would have told my dad. But I wouldn't, I don't know if I would have told Foggy in that situation.
See, I think it is bug fucking wild that he goes around telling people he's blind. That's... I didn't think about it until this episode, but, yeah, there's no reason for him to do that.
I mean, it would be much more difficult for him to explain every single time. Hey, I actually can't see what's on the TV, but I do know who you... I can see you vaguely.
I mean, that's not weird. That's people. It's just impaired visual... having, vision impaired. Being vision impaired. I'm not blind, but I can't see.
Right, but it's so weird on a case-by-case basis. For instance,
he's his best friend. That's a pretty easy case-by-case basis to say, I'm not blind. I'm your roommate. Before they were best friends, I'm your roommate is a pretty good, I should tell you I'm not blind. I'm just vision impaired. Why does he walk around with a stick? There's no reason. Because it's his secret identity, too. He just does it. I don't know why. It's crazy.
I'm pretty sure he does it because he doesn't want people to know he has, senses beyond, the norm. He wants people to think he's blind because it's an advantage.
But why? Because no one is there's, as far as we know, there's never been a case where he's been a Matt Murdock and been time to get in a fight right now.
I don't think it's a fight thing. I think it's just a living your life thing.
I guess so. I mean, I think that is what it is. That's what I was trying to say. I didn't know if I didn't want to come to the conclusion that he's just a fucking asshole.
I mean, in general, I would not want people to know that I have some sort of weird advantage over other people. I mean, that's definitely a CIA is going to take you in thing.
Saying I'm not blind, but I can't see, I'm just visually impaired, is not having an advantage over somebody. It's definitely having a disadvantage over somebody. It's definitely saying I can't see as well as you. I mean, I'm not saying he has to tell him the world's on fire. That's not what Foggy said either. He's saying you just don't have to tell me that you're not blind. You're not blind.
I think that would just be a even harder lie to keep up, because then it's well, what are the limits? How far away does he know there's a wall there?
That is, I think you're crazy. This really painted Matt in a different light for me. He just is he's just a straight up piece of shit.
I 100% don't think that.
He is faking an injury. He is faking his handicap. That's fucked up.
I mean, he is handicapped, just not to the level that, he lets on.
Exactly. That's fucked up. That is extremely fucked up. Because it's not a superhero thing. It's just a person thing. It's just a him as a normal human person just is lying about it. Because it has nothing to do with the superhero side at all. He's just doing it because he's an asshole. Because he wants to be able to, do the lie detector on people and know that he can see what they are, but they don't know that he can see what they look like. He wants to be able to, know that he can speak Spanish, but make the other person do it because it's a fucking power move, and he's a fucking weirdo. I hate him more now. That is so fucking creepy.
Like, I don't disagree with you on, certain aspects of that. Like, I do think that him, going with the 100% blind thing is equivalent to him knowing Spanish but not telling anyone he can speak Spanish. I just think...
I don't think it's equivalent to that. I think that's way not as bad as
it's
pretending to have an injury or pretending to have a handicap.
He is handicapped,
He's
though.
No, he's not.
He is. He can't watch a TV. He can't look at an alarm. He can't read a book unless it's in Braille.
Okay, but then I'm handicapped because I can't sense what is in the room around me, every little thing. He's not handicapped because he can't do those few things. When he can do all this other stuff, makes up for it. He averages out to an average person.
That is literally the definition of differently abled, which is what we use instead of handicapped.
No, that's bullshit. He averages out to an average normal person that isn't fucked up and handicapped.
What? What? Jesus Christ.
What a fucking weird discussion this is.
This is honestly what I thought you meant when you said we were going to talk about Nelson v. Murdock. The specific, how much good is he doing thing did not... this is the thing I was more concerned about.
Really?
Yeah. Because this is what I thought the Nelson v. Murdock thing. It was Foggy saying, hey, how much of this was a lie? That's
all
what
of
it was. Yeah. At no point did they really mention, by the way, how much good are you doing for the city?
That was the whole last half of it, though. That was the whole last half of it. Him saying, this city needs me, and Foggy saying, no, it doesn't, and Murdock trying to prove it, and Foggy trying to prove it. That was the whole last half. For the last quarter, at least, or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, that's where I stand. Murdock is a piece of shit, and the city doesn't need him.
And I guess that's where I stand. I think it's fine to not tell people that you have a different perception of reality.
That's not what I am saying he has to tell them. I don't know why you're immediately jumping to he has to tell them everything that he knows.
I don't think he has to tell them everything. I just think it's a much deeper lie to put up this facade of I just have bad eyesight.
I really cannot imagine how it's a much deeper lie to say I have bad eyesight.
Because his senses go so far beyond, seeing a thing in a room. So he would have to say, my vision's blurry or whatever, but also, I do know,
do you not realize how insane it is to say the lie of I am completely blind and I can't see shit is so much harder of a lie for someone who can see more than the average person?
I think it's a 0 to 100 thing. It's easier for him to do it because there's no gradient there. It's just a straight up...
But with the gradient, there's more room for leeway. If he does trip up, then it's it's a gradient. It doesn't matter. Bad eyesight, no one's gonna be like, you said you had bad eyesight, but before you said this was a pigtail blur, but now it's a ponytail blur. No one's gonna fucking care. Whereas if he was supposed to be fully blind and he, mentions something nonchalantly, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but something, he's gonna slip up at some point. It's so much easier to slip up for a full I can't see anything. What if he almost what if something's coming at him and he dodges out of the way of it? A baseball, a flying, they're walking by a park, a baseball comes, is he just gonna let the baseball hit him in the head? But if he said I have, shitty eyesight, then he could dodge the baseball.
I feel like we've had an instance of that happening. I don't know how it played out.
I don't think we have.
Because we've had little instances of him doing stuff like that. When he was in the church, he walked up to the pastor, and then he was just like, eh. But, like, he does play off tiny little things, including his perception, and it works. It's fine.
The priest one I thought was weird, because I feel like if I closed my eyes, I'd be able to walk in and see where the priest was. Just, it's a quiet church. You can hear the little movements of a chair, like, or the pews or something.
Yeah, which I think was fine, because, again, he didn't lie about it.
Yeah.
He just didn't give an answer, and the priest could have easily been like, oh, well, I guess I may have twitched or something. I may have made a creaky creak.
Yeah. Anyway. I mean, it's not that he didn't lie, but he said, do you want the long answer or the short answer? And the priest said, I don't fucking care.
Right.
The priest is the one who just said, I don't give a shit.
I mean, I assume that's how he navigates most of the problems that would come up as a result of him saying, I can't see. If there is a contradiction, he just goes, I mean, it happens.
He didn't do that, though. The priest didn't.
No, I mean, like, in every other instance of his life in which something like that would happen. Like, that scene where he and Foggy are, back in college, they're walking towards the stairs, and he just, like, before he goes down the stairs, like, before he does anything near it, he says, where are the stairs? Because clearly he doesn't want to, have to mime not knowing where the stairs are.
Yeah.
And Foggy doesn't, go, oh, it's really suspicious that you talked about the stairs when we're right in front of them. How would you know?
Okay, yeah, I don't think that's weird.
Yeah, it isn't weird, because he plays it off really well.
Yeah. But I think this just boils down to you thinking that it's easy to just pretend that you're blind your whole life.
I don't think it's easy, but I think if you're willing to commit to that, I think it's easier than having a specific scale of how much am I supposed to be able to see.
Well, I just want to say this is a black and white. I 100% fundamentally disagree.
Alright.
And I think we're going to have to leave it there, because I can't go into it. I just fundamentally disagree.
Yeah.
Alright, that's it for this discussion.
Was that all the episode was?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else that happened this episode. Oh, the Ben, Eric, and Karen stuff, where they went to go see Wilson's mother. Mm-hmm. So I guess they're going to use her to get the him killing his dad on him. Yeah. Which, again, really fucking sucks. That's all his mom's fault. I blame his mother 100% on that.
That, and also, I mean, they're in Hell's Kitchen. I do get that is going to be a political thing, but I don't think it would hurt that campaign that much.
What do you mean?
If they were to say, hey, you killed your dad, and he said, yes, my father was very abusive, and, I accidentally killed him, and then, we just didn't tell anyone.
And then sawed off his body and one by one put each piece in the river.
I mean, they haven't found the body, so they could just say whatever. You could just say, well...
But I mean, if they have testimony from the mother, then I think that's what they're going to use.
Okay.
And she's going to say, probably,
Right.
But,
I guess I didn't consider the idea of her going all the way and saying, this is how we disposed of the body.
Right. I assume that's what they're trying to get out of her.
Okay.
I assume they're going to try and tell her that, shit that your son has done, and blah, 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 blah. But, yeah. Okay. I hope not, because that's all her. But really, they should have just gone to the police, but she was the one who was like, get the saw!
Yeah.
But, alright. That's it.
Alright.
Get the fuck out of here.